Hi, good afternoon. Back again, and Corona is still taking its toll and growing in the Netherlands, so I decided to stay in my hometown Hilversum. Here in the Rosarium, I'm in a neighborhood that's called the Boomberg area. And if you imagine that Hilversum used to be just a tiny farmer settlement with farmhouses and lots of rough heatherland around it. And these rough heatherland hills is one of the former places where I am now. What happened is that all the farmers slowly have been changed into a more industrial settlement of Hilversum, textile industry, the diamond industry, and it was certainly the train in 1874, the station, that brought the big change to Hilversum. Rich people moved over here from Amsterdam. You can see beautiful mansions behind me, or houses, villas. And these houses were then built in rough lands around the village, up the wind, so they wouldn't smell the bad farming or the industry, which was then more to the east. So I'm the west side of the town. So when the first people came to live here and started to make this ground fertile and lovely for living, they ended up here on the Boomberg, with one O, B-O-M, and Berg is mountain. It is really high, it is a hill, probably like maybe 17 meters high, and it can save your life in the flooding. So a mountain or hill is something in the Netherlands. Then these people that started to live here all together wanted to make it into a beautiful walking zone as well, hiking area with lovely woods, lovely trees, and all of them had a mission to plant more trees. And a tree is a boom, and slowly this area started to be Boomberg. It changed into Boomberg, and boom is tree. Then the Rosarium, where I am now, was a part of land that has been sold to the community of Hilversum, once by a lady, an Amsterdam lady who had a job, was just by herself, pretty rare, at the end of the 19th century. She bought lots of land, and this part of the Rosarium she sold as well, but it had the little limit on it that it could not be built higher than 1 meter 25, about here. And as you can see, a tree, not much more, and the rose bushes. So it's a great little park in a green area. Around, after the war, after the Second World War, there was a plan to make a monument to commemorate all the people that passed away in the Second World War, of course. Then here at this location, they thought this is a suitable place. It's walking distance from the town hall, and every year here on May 4th, they come to commemorate the people who passed away. This man, he is not kneeling down, he's actually rising up. And he's rising up after the war, after all the humiliation, after losing his money, materialism, friends, trust and everything. Naked, deprived of everything. Recently, 23 September 2020, this pole has been put up here. It is a vredespaal, a peace pole, and it is given to someone or a foundation yearly that has been doing something good for the community. May there be peace on earth, it says. And this time it went to a local police officer who is involved in the neighborhood, een wijkagent. Well, next to the Rosarium, you probably saw already in the background, there's a beautiful home. And this house has a history, every house has. But this house with the pillars, it looks like some colonial house that doesn't really fit here, or actually it's not typical of the Netherlands. And it has a story that it was built on another street. It is called the Gravelandseweg, which is quite a bit that way. And here's the house behind me. The house with the pillars was built in the beginning of the 1800s, and it had another location. The ground of that property has been sold, and villas have been built on the former garden. And the person buying it wanted to have it, but at a different location, so it has been replaced here a few decades later. The house with the pillars has a history. It has been really in a bad state after some fire, and in the 90s it got restored, and happily it's back here. And it's especially the frieze under the roof that is beautifully redone and very known. The hill where I am now is one of the few hills that are in Hilversum, or the many, and Hilversum is not Hilversum. Hilversum, hill means, or Hilfert was very likely a man who had a house here, a home, a hem, Hilversum, well, you can hear it. And part of these trees that people planted in this area, there was also a little strip of land that leads all the way to the woods. And I'll show you. 4 people took care, made sure this land would never be built on. Up to today, it has never been done for like more than a century now. It is a lovely path leading over the hilltop and then down into the forest even in the end. But on that side next to me, don't see it anymore, but I'll have a lovely photo. There is a place where there was a windmill. It was called the Erfgooier, and it stood there on the edge of the village, high above, doing his job and grinding grain for the region.